Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So today what we have is kind of the side dish to Meatloaf number 9. Meatloaf number 9 kind of morphed into the Chuck, 4-jaw Chuck key build. So we're going to wrap that up today and give it a try and see if it works. Well, we'll see if it works. And we got all the pieces of the puzzle in place now, and we should be able to wrap it up and get it done. And so let's get out of the shop and let's get going. Okay. Okay, so we're machining a little pilot diameter on there to put the to put that hex on there. This is about 700 across the flats in there, but it's swaged also. That gives us a little diameter to kind of locate that on nicely, and then I'll put a little weld prep on that too. So, all right, so we got the other end here. We're gonna smack a radius on there. Set the center height here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to turn the center section down, reduce the diameter to lighten it up in the center section. Set my 0 point here. Sure, why not? All right, so let's pop a hole in this thing, the crossbar hole. I'm going to use a rotobroach here. It's just barely long enough, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, I'll have to change the camera around a little bit. Alright, let's try that. Let's try the Eagle 66. For this time. Vice is tight. Just gonna get mucked up with oil. Alright, feels good. This can works pretty good for this because I can put a little more in there and right into the groove. It's got a little hook on the tip there, it catches that edge. Yeah, this diameter, or this depth is right at the limit of this tool here. So I stopped there. I had a little problem. As I thought it felt a little funny going down. It was more resistance than I expected. The part was it came out okay, but the part was actually tipping here. I didn't have a lot of surface in there. Anyway, it was off center and it was pushing up a little bit. I noticed it was up, so I stopped. And then you can actually, oops, there's the slug. You can actually see the slug has got a little crook in it there. Anyway, that's what was binding up. I could feel that. The hole still came out okay, so my handle looks straight. Let's see, can you see all that? Yeah, you can see all that. Anyway, we're just going to weld it in there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to pin it. I'm just going to weld it. I just want to get it done. Anyway, there's the handle part of our new chuck handle. So, all right, so I got all the pieces prepped. I went back and shortened up the socket a little bit. This thing was starting to get a little long, so I lopped this off at about 1 inch. We got a little weld prep there, and then there's our square that we're going to resize. So right now I'm thinking about whether or not I want to put weld the handle in now before I swage the square. So that's what I'm trying to decide right now. I think it still fits in the vise okay, like that, and then that support is supported while I'm tapping on that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there and weld it in, and So I want to orient the square with this just to be, you know, workmanlike. So I'll do that and get a couple little welds on that, and then weld that up, and then we'll swage that square. All right, so we're gonna square this. I got this parallel to the table, the handle. So we're gonna put this in here like that, and then we'll use a little square on the side here to kind of get that square with the world. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll get some tacks on that. All right, so we'll get that squared up. All right. Looks pretty good. I'll get a tack and then tack the rest of that. Stick welding there. Alright, so touch up my tungsten and get this welded. I have a couple of centering marks on there, so I know where the middle of that is. Just fusing those right now. Really, you know, the fit gives you your driving power, so it just needs to be retained in there. All right, let's get that socket welded on. I don't want it to rock, that's why I'm putting that on there. Hot swage our end in that. Okay, I think I'm ready here. I got this chamfered. It's a little high, but I think I'll be okay. I can sight the vertical. Okay. And then I got some water here so I can cool that punch tip if it gets kind of hot. That's tight. Got my torch set up here. I got a place to to put it so I can move quick and lock it down. So I think I'm ready. I think I'm gonna set the camera zoomed in on this so we can see this action here. The rest of this is just kind of peripheral stuff. So I'll change the camera around, then I'm gonna heat this Mamaluca up, and we're gonna do it. All right, boys, here we go. Okay, we're getting close. Started to scale a little bit. I didn't think about it, but I should have got a wire brush. Well, that's a little more pressure than I thought. Okay. Give me a wire brush. I can see it's working, but it's just taking more force than I expected. Okay, let's get this sucker out again. like it's resized. That was just the torch shutting off. Alright, top looks pretty good. Alright, still looks pretty good. Not distorted visually or anything like that. Alright, let's let that cool off and then we'll get a try on the chuck. Alright, let's give our little chuck key a try there. Alright, looks like it works. Yeah, it doesn't care. And it fits the pocket closely so that it's stable. Okay, well, I can get a good crank on that. I'll do a little cleanup on this to get some of that discoloration off. I wire wheeled it a little, but I'll do a little more. And I think we're good to go. Okay, so anyway, that went pretty good. We got this thing done, and the 4-jaw chuck key came out pretty good. And we tried a kind of a different technique for resizing this opening here. So yeah, I could have bought a chuck key cheaper and less work. But you know, when I'm doing this kind of work in the shop, I don't really think about the time. I'm having fun, so that was part of it for me. I missed a little trick here. I should have left this cross piece off. That way I could have got it back in the lathe and I could have dressed this up nicely. I still may do something with that. I don't know, but most likely it'll go with the chuck, and next time I need to use that chuck, I'll be using this wrench. So I also wanted to thank all the viewers that took some time and did some research on the web and found some resources for me. I really appreciate it. I ended up buying a couple of those snap-on sockets just cause, and at work I get a ripping deal on snap-on. So through the industrial arm of Snap-on, I get a employee discount or whatever you call it. I don't know. Anyway, so I bought 2 of them, and in case this didn't work, but they haven't come in yet. So, but anyway, I just want to give a shout out for all those folks out there that gave me some eBay resources and some different vendors on Rome, direct from Rome, things like that. Stuff that you know, when I did a search a while back, I didn't root it out. It started looking difficult to find this 10mm square. So anyway, I ended up making those little ones, but they're kind of small. So anyway, I got me an A-bomb 79 size chuck key now, so we can crank down on that 4-jaw and not have any slippage. Nobody likes slippage. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and thanks for watching.